just want to talk.
Well, what's there to talk about?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Stairs here.
Hey, welcome to voicemail. LLC Incorporated. Fuck shit. Andrew, I don't want to do this bit anymore. It's not funny. God damn. I don't like it. Fuck. It's the podcast. How am I supposed to respond to that? It's not funny.
At the end of your message, press 1.
Welcome to season 1.
Shut up.
Episode 4.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I'm Andrew. Are you trying to talk over me?
What?
I know where you live.
We're at my house. Okay, hey guys, I'm Curt.
I think I said I'm Andrew, but I'm Andrew.
Yeah, this is the voicemail podcast where we spit the shit in my mom's and dad, in my parents' attic, not just my mom's, my parents' attic. I don't know why I immediately went to one family, but family member.
Because you got a favorite of yours. Hopefully your dad doesn't hear this.
Have you ever? I don't know where it came from, but there's like a skit somewhere where it's like, pick what kid I want to kill.
Yes,
I've
seen
it's
that.
just like, oh, so it's your favorite, and the guy just like leaves. Just like I don't know what you're gonna fucking do with that information, but it's there. I think it was like college humor or something like that.
It was a great bit. I saw that and I loved it. I'm gonna flip this.
I miss old college humor, but
I stopped watching them, so I can't comment on that.
well, like there's some good stuff every now and then, but like I remember there's a lot more funny stuff. Like I don't know.
I remember the Cheez-It factory.
I don't remember that, but there was a. I don't know. I have to go back. There's a lot of funny stuff.
The one thing I do like, the new thing though, I watch it, is Adam Ruins Everything.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's amazing. I love it a lot.
Where'd you hear it?
Yeah. Actually, talking about weird ass facts, I'm not sure if this is true, but it sounds plausible. A coworker told me 1/2 of every human being that has lived past 65 is alive today because modern medicine has gotten well enough so fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, your grandparents' parents didn't live to fucking 65, or if they probably hit, like, just that, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's pretty interesting.
It is. Modern medicine's getting pretty far. Can't
So,
wait till we live forever and we're just big old skeletons walking around. I remember when I used to have skin.
My God, skeleton memes. I remember, I was going, like, I go camping a lot. So I was on a train heading towards New Mexico. I was going to a Boy Scout camp, Philmont. Mm-hmm. And I'm with all my buddies, and I had either my iPod out or something like that, and I was looking through my photos. And, like, a buddy of mine, like, I went to go to the bathroom, I left it in my bag, my buddies pulled it out, and they're looking through my photos, and they find a folder of skeleton memes.
Oh.
From, like, 4chan, because, like,
Man.
there'd be, like, a Skeletor thread, and, like, it'd just be a bunch of, like, skeleton, like, shit, and I would just save all of them and spam them to, like, group chats, because I thought it was funny.
I used to do the same thing. I cheated, though. I had a program that would do batch downloading, so I'm like, I like this thread, download all, and I would just download all the memes, and start the show.
But they're just like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Because, like, there's, like, just weird-ass pictures of just, like, like someone enlarged, like, a skeleton head, and it's just, like, a guy that's standing, like, really, like, weird, and it's just, like, 2 arms and 2 legs coming out of, like, a giant skeleton head.
Oh, God.
It's, like, weird-ass pictures, and they're like, what the fuck?
Stop.
You need to explain this shit, because I have no clue what's going on.
Send more.
I'd be like, it's Skeletor. But talking about traveling, actually, since we're on the topic, and I'm bad at transitions, a buddy of mine is currently on a road trip, and he does this a lot. They've gone from, like, Ohio to New York, New Orleans, or New Orleans. My family pronounces it New Orleans. I've never really... I think it's like one...
I'll just call it trash.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm joking.
I like New
love
Orleans.
you, Matt.
I love New Orleans.
My cousin lives in New Orleans. I love you, Matt. If you listen to this. It's not trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but they just go all over. And they, like, fund their trip more buy like, because they're all musicians, and like they'll play music on the streets until they have enough money to buy gas to like keep going or to get home, and they just do it everywhere. It's awesome. They'll just like, because they don't really work, they make all their money off of their music, so it's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Getting to travel like that.
Yeah.
I traveled once. It was to Florida. Many times. I've been there twice. I've seen all of the United States already. Just Ohio, Florida, done. Seen all 2 states that Ohio, the U.S. has to offer.
I've done a good amount of traveling. I recently this summer went to Europe, and that was amazing. It was awesome. I was in the Czech Republic.
That's right. You had quite a few Snapchats, and I'm quite jelly.
It was awesome. I was in I think it was Prague, Czech Republic. I think it was Prague. I went to Austria, and I went to Poland.
Austria, another shrimp on the Barbie.
You mean Australia? You...
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Andrew, I'm not letting that one fucking slip. Is your shoe size bigger than your IQ, you fucking farmer? What? You mouth breathing? No, I'm joking. Yeah, I knew it was a joke. But yeah, I loved it. Europe was amazing.
I really want to travel to Europe.
It's kind of weird. Like a lot of the social norms were flipped in Europe. Like I remember I went swimming on the 4th of July there, and just like there's a bunch of guys that originally lived in the U.S. that now live in the Czech Republic, and we just I guess every year they'd celebrate the 4th of July, but just in Europe. Mm-hmm. And like we were all just hanging out on the beach, and it kind of took me aback because I just saw people changing out in public, and I'm like, like just everybody just it's just weird. Like I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It really took me aback. I was like,
it's culture shock.
Yeah, and like people are just like it was just kind of everyone was just open, and I thought it was weird.
I'm used to it. I'm on the internet 24/7. I've seen naked people.
No, it's not like, but it's just like this. It was like a social norm.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was making a goof.
Yeah, I know, but it was just weird.
I really want to travel to Europe. I want to get out of the U.S.
The one thing that's different about Europe than Ohio, for sure, like, or at least my experience that like was a lot different than at home, was people that talk to you in public and homeless people. When I came back from Europe, my buddy was like kind of like taken aback by the fact, like I think a bum came up to us and started talking. Mm-hmm. I just stone cold like go away, and I just was very like stern and mean to the guy. Mm-hmm. Because in Europe they like if you're not mean, or if you either don't pay attention to them, or if you're not very stern and you have to stand your ground, because they are pushy as all hell. I remember like I just got off like the plane, and I'm like walking trying to find the place to the subway, through the subway, and the guy goes, he heard me talking to somebody, he's like, oh, is that an American accent? Where are you from? And I'm like, hey, nice people. And like he was just like within like 3 transactions of that sentence, it was like, I need money, and I was like, don't have it. And he was just like, he like pointed to like a pack of cigarettes I just bought, and he was just like, well, you have fucking enough money to buy fucking cigarettes? Hey, bro. And he like called over his brother.
Oh God.
And I was like, and like, it was, so like within like a week, I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Within those 2 weeks, it would be like just people would come up to you, and that you started knowing like the tattletale signs that they were not just normal people, and you'd just be like, you'd have to stand your ground. Like at one point, my uncle almost fucking got stabbed. Like we were in like a bad part of town, and this guy was trying to sell us like just a bunch of different types. Like he was just like listing off drugs to sell us, and we're just like, nope, we're good. Like still kind of keeping a conversation. I don't know why we fucking did, because I guess he was walking with us, and the guy, like my cousin was like, he's more of like, I think he's my like a
cousin, uncle.
Yeah, it's like
a kunkle.
No, he's a cousin, but it's like distant.
Okay.
I don't know what to classify him as, but he essentially was like, I'm gonna call the cops if you don't like fucking leave us alone.
Yeah.
And he pulled a knife on us, and he had it like straight like at his gut, and my uncle, whatever. My cousin was just like, fuck, and like we just kind of booked it. But it was weird. Like you have to genuinely stand your ground and be like, fuck off, like we don't want to talk.
That's scary.
And it's not scary. Like
I mean, getting pull a knife on you is kind of scary.
Well, it was a bad part of town, and the weird part was we left. Obviously, my uncle called the cops like right away. Mm-hmm. They picked up the guys. Like we told them like where that genuine area was, what happened. My uncle, I'm just calling my uncle. Fuck it. Me and my uncle went to. We took him to the police station. Mm-hmm. We dropped him off, and we like left to go home because like this is gonna be a while. A lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
He comes home, he's red in the face mad. He's like, what the fuck? The guy got off with like 2 misdemeanors. Like, excuse me? I guess like selling drugs was like a very meh offense. I don't know how.
It's really weird in Europe, but...
Yeah, but like, and then he's like, the way he was holding the knife, he got off with a misdemeanor. Because he wasn't holding it like, in like a certain position.
God.
It was the way he was holding it. And the same thing happened with Tommy C. of the Baited podcast. He was talking about it on his radio show type deal. He said a guy held a hammer to his head, and they didn't even take away the hammer. They're just like, they kind of just settled the dispute.
That's crazy. That's
like the stuff that people get away with in Europe, they would be just arrested and put in jail like over here, which I think is, I'm not saying it's right or wrong because it's just a cultural difference.
Yeah.
But it was a big culture shock to me because I was like, it was just weird. Like the guy's literally gonna get like maybe a charge or something, like something small compared to like what he would get here.
Jumping back a little bit, did you go by yourself at first to Europe, or did your uncle tag along with you?
Oh no, my uncle and I guess my aunt, they lived there.
Oh, okay.
Me and my other cousin, who's an actual like close cousin.
Okay.
We went to Europe together, and me and her, we just like were like, I think the airport was like 2 or 3 subway stops away from their home, which was like in the middle of the Czech Republic. It was amazing. I was trying to explain it to a buddy of mine, and the best way I could put it was, the Czech Republic is like one of the few places that weren't firebombed in World War II. At any point in time, I'm standing on a street corner that's older than the country I live in. Of course, the architecture is amazing. It was so cool.
Yeah, I got pretty jealous with your Snapchat seeing you out in Europe and all these beautiful places you've been to. I'm like, oh man, I want to escape Ohio. I want to escape the U.S. Get me out of here. Let me see the world. If
you are going to go to Europe, be prepared to come home and go ham trying to lose weight, because you are going to gain a fuck ton. And it's like, I do not regret a fucking thing. Because like, literally in the Czech Republic, and I'm not sure some of the other places, I think, if I remember correctly, it was the same. Beer is cheaper than water to buy.
Jesus.
It was like a couple $1 bottle of water, and it was tiny as fuck. Or I could spend $1 and I get a giant thing of beer, and it's...
How was the beer?
Amazing.
Isn't the law a little bit different in Europe?
No. Beer has been ruined in America because I'm not sure...
No, the legal age. I'm talking about the legal age. So
as 18, I could buy beer. I was able to go straight in, buy liquor. I was able to buy cigarettes. I was able to buy the whole 9 yards. And I remember I was talking to somebody about beer, and they're just like, oh, how does it compare? I'm like, it doesn't compare at all to American beer, because my father explained this to me. During the Prohibition, the second it ended, everyone's like, fuck, it's legal. We got to get it out as soon as possible. So the way that we make beer now is so fast that it tastes like water.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like a snob, but I've never had beer as good as I had it over there. It is really good. And it's so cheap too. It's crazy. Like, I think I spent $5 for like, I'm trying to think of about like 2 Arizona cans like worth.
Wow.
Of homemade beer made by monks. Like, that's pretty fucking cool. It was awesome. Cool. I do have a lot of respect for, I guess, like, we're uncle in quotations, because he's not my fucking uncle, but he rips off mustache. I'm not your uncle. Ha! But no. I have a lot of respect for my uncle, because he is like post AA out, like, he's no longer an alcoholic. Or I guess, I don't know, he's recovered.
Okay. That
society, and a lot of like cultures in Europe, very alcohol based. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like he is surrounded, like, it would be the worst place to be if you were like, but it's also like an amazing place. But like, I don't know how to put it. Like, the society is not accepting of that yet. I don't think he's like a big part of the AA scene down there, but it's like very small because it's so like, I don't know, like, it's not every, like, at least when I was down there, it was just normal to just every meal you have 3 beers, you have 2 beers. Like, I probably was buzzed that entire fucking trip. I don't remember a full night of my trip because they're just like, hey, Curt, you can buy liquor. And I got way too excited, and I bought, I think it was essentially the equivalent of American moonshine.
Oh, jeez.
And I just went to town, and they're just like, Curt, it was crazy. You were just like talking off the cuff, like just off the cuff, like as fast as you fucking could. At one point, you had a smoking contest with yourself. And we had to take away, like, the lighter. No, he took away the ashtray because he knew that I wouldn't want to get ashes on the table. He's like, so we weren't taking away anything from you, but we were just, like, taking the effect out of the cause and effect here.
Jumping back just a tiny bit, did you have to exchange any money to...
Yes.
You did? Okay. For
Talking
different
about
currency.
that, once again, with the trust in random-ass people on the street,
Mm-hmm.
people will come up to you and be like, oh, you need to, like, exchange money? I got you, fam. And they'll, like, give you dog shit, like, currency that is worth pennies on the dollar, and they'll take your money and just be gone. So I just strictly ATMs. And you know what? It's crazy cheap over there. Insanely cheap. Like, I don't remember any of the specific prices, but I remember when I came back and, like, I told my buddy, like, how much a pack of cigarettes cost, and he's like, God damn, like, it's cheap enough that you have to, like, you'd be losing money if you weren't smoking. I loved it down there. It was great. Like, I remember for, like, it was $5 would get me a plate that was, I'm trying to think of, like, a size, like, a crazy hefty plate of food.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to think of, like, how much you normally eat and double that.
Oh, God.
For, like, a meal. Because, like, every time, I left every meal stuffed. It would be just a giant plate of food, and a beer would be $5 or $6.
That sounds amazing.
And that was every meal. And it was awesome. And I loved, like, every night I ate out, like, I was spending money. There's a fucking joke. Every night I ate out, ha! But, yeah, every night I ate at a different restaurant, and I was buying food along the way, and I was just, like, I was essentially throwing money at this country. And the surrounding ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think my total debt when I came back and I got my credit card bill was like $800. And for like 2 or 3 weeks of just splurging every day. That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty damn good, actually.
Yeah, like, and I spent money on shit that I bought like a bunch of new clothes there. I bought like just like random shit that I needed, like bought like soaps and shit. Like,
yeah.
I bought like I think my cousin that was with me didn't have a portable charger, so I bought her one of those, and I also bought her an European like the USB.
Oh, the socket thing, shit.
Yeah.
Damn you Europeans! Get with the times.
No, once like I have like an adapter, so like I just Amazon's like $5, but yeah, like there's just like I remember specifically spending no expense, just like I was just
spared no expense,
and I just went like if I just thought I am here for like 2 or 3 weeks, time to live it up, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I did. It was a great experience.
What was the most American thing you've seen there? Like
the most American thing.
Like were you walking past like a McDonald's or fucking Walmart?
I never went. There was McDonald's, but they're very European. Like it was very like in America they don't prevent you from going, like there isn't measures they prevent you from going into a bathroom. Like there was like machines that you had to deposit money in to open up a door to get into the bathroom, or like a little It was weird. Like I got really sick towards the second week. Like I couldn't hold food down. I started like losing weight like crazy. Like I don't know what I caught, but I caught something bad, and I just had like I kept having to dip into the bathroom every like hour or so, and it was horrible because I would be like everything is leaving my body now. I need to be in this. I need to be in a fucking restroom, and I like it would be like closed, and I'd be like, "Fuck, goddamn it!" I've been so close to like I probably almost got in trouble a few times because I was like contemplating hopping over like the thing and just running in.
Oh man!
But yeah, like I liked it a lot. Europe was an amazing place, and I really intend on going in there again. If anybody's thinking about going to a European country, Czech Republic, man, like it's an amazing place to go to. And if you're looking for places to stay, look into hostels, which is like a hotel, but it's usually it's essentially a room with a bunch of bunk beds, and then you're put there with a bunch of other people that it's crazy cheap, and you're usually like right next to where you need to be. And everything about Europe was like really cool. I liked it a lot. I just really liked it.
Yeah, that's a place I would like to go. It seems peaceful sometimes.
The one cool thing I thought, like graffiti in the U.S. It's seen as, or at least it's
vilified a bit.
Yeah, it's vilified a bit. Like you can be like pretty heavily charged with, like if you're tagging or whatever. But tagging and like art, just like spray paints and like graffiti, it's looked up to. It's very important to the society, and it's very important to the culture. In the Czech Republic, back when communism ruled, nothing was the people's. everyone was the same. Everyone was on the, everything was owned by the government. Tagging and graffiti, that was a way of calling something your own. And that stayed with the culture. And you'll see old people and you'll see like little kids just painting on stuff, and I really like it. It's really cool.
Yeah, that
like
seems neat. I like it. I dig it.
Yeah, I really like that. I do intend on going there again. I just gotta figure out, when, because cash really isn't like an issue. I just gotta buy tickets on the off season.
Yeah.
When you always buy tickets when people don't usually want to go, which ironically would probably be around this time of year. Like it's snowy, it's cold. In Czech, it's gonna be fucking freezing. Why not go when no one's there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, another funny thing, I guess, to like before we move on or whatever. I don't know if we're gonna go on to a different subject from here, but before I was preparing for the Czech trip or the European trip, my dad says, "Curt, you want to blend in with the people. You don't want to make yourself a target, because the more you blend in, the better things are gonna be. You won't be harassed as much by like vendors and stuff. If you can blend in, the more the better. So my dad told me, you're wearing short sleeve shirts with a pocket and stripes, very colorful, and you tuck them into your like cargo shorts. And I like it with like Vans, and I had like scrunched up like colorful socks. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like I just looked different. And I had like a fade at the time, and like earrings. And my dad says, lose all of that. Wear gray, wear bland shoes, grow out your facial hair, and get like a clean cut, or just let your hair grow out. And I did all that. I got to Czech. Everyone's dressed like a fucking hipster. And I'm the one who looks fucking different, because my dad's telling me how to dress as if I was going to communist, like post-communist Czech. Or it's more communist Czech, because the second communism ended, color is everywhere. Because back during communism, you always had set colors.
Yeah.
Black, white, gray. That was probably the main colors you had to use. And for most things, at least. Everything was very bland, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the second that ended, colors everywhere. So I go there, and I'm fucking a fucking sore thumb. The amount of times I saw people that looked like me, if I would have stayed the same, was insane. I was so pissed. I was just like, motherfucker.
God dang it.
Yeah, but it was cool. I liked it a lot.
I bet. It seems like a really, really cool trip to go on, except for the getting the knife pointed at you. But hey.
Everything's fine in the end, and it's a good story. So I don't care.
So yeah, pull more knives at me.
Yeah.
Make more stories.
Not gonna lie, all the points I was gonna like hit have nothing to do with traveling. That took a very far turn than what I thought we would talk about. But I'm very happy we talked about it, because I love traveling. I like doing that. That's all I've been doing for a long time.
I want to travel, but I hate planes with a passion.
Have you ever been on a plane?
I've been on a plane.
Why? Why do you hate them?
Just at first, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared of terrorism when I was like fucking 13. But now it's just, if anything goes wrong, you're so far up in the sky. It's a long way down, and you gotta live through all of that before you hit the ground. That scares the shit out of me.
It's a metal thing with wings in it. Look, how heavy is an airplane? How does that goddamn work? It's against the will of God.
I also hate I don't know the word is, but when it's on the plane, like just
turbulence,
or we're just like falls out of the sky a bit, and you just feel like you're floating a bit, like 0 G's. You're like, oh shit, what was that? That scares me the most.
I've been on shitty like mad planes where it's like I guess they're like dinkier ones that like don't take turbulence as well, but like it'll be like shaking, like you're hearing like all the shit rattle, and it's just like you're like wide awake, like especially during like storms, you're just kind of like like there's been many a time both on boats and in like a plane where it's like shit's just so crazy, I just decide like whatever happens, I just go right to bed.
See, with like boats, I'm fine because hey, if it crashes, hey, I can swim. I can't fly. I can't fucking flap my arms and zoom away.
My grandfather he got drafted or something like that. I forgot what war he was in or something, but he's a veteran. Okay. And he said it was so bad in a storm one night that like the boat was going like up and like it was like it's tilting like long ways. It was tilting.
Okay.
And he said you'd feel it tilt up slowly, and it would come down, and it was up and down, like, and he's like, they had to strap us in a bed and they didn't feed us because we'd just be puking everywhere. And he just like, he said, he kind of did essentially what I would do, just like, I kind of accepted my fate and fell asleep. But he said, I guess he woke up because like he started getting in the rhythm of it, like there's a rhythm, and I guess like there's a point where it was like so like close, like it felt so close to like flat, like or like straight up and down.
Oh God.
He said it felt like as if it was gonna go like
fall back.
He said it went up and it just stayed there. And he said that was the scariest fucking like a few seconds of my life because it's just like you know like you're sitting there.
That's gotta be terrifying.
You're sitting there and you're like, if this goes the other way, I'm strapped into a bed and we are like shit's like, yeah, sure you can swim, but can you swim in a giant ass storm like that? Like enough to like if you are on a giant ship and that shit like you know
flips you over, it's gotta be a bad storm.
It's gotta be a bad storm, and if you're in a little dinghy, fuck. Like yeah. Also, I'm not sure if you know this, but we are next to the most dangerous body of water in the entire world.
Are you talking about Lake Erie?
All the lakes. I'm pretty sure Lake Erie is the most. Or
Cleveland represent.
There's the condent, the whatever it's called, the amount of shipwrecks in that body of water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's all the lakes or specifically ours, but there's a lot in like the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes, there's more like wrecks there than anywhere else because like I don't know like with the specifics why, but shit's gone fucking wrong so many times. And like my dad, he was a merchant marine on the Great Lakes, and he said like I told him that fact, and he's like, oh, I believe it. Like shit, like it sucks. Like when stuff goes wrong, it goes wrong.
Oh man,
like
what makes it so? Oh, are you talking about like dangerous for ships or dangerous because it's
dangerous for ships?
Okay.
Like for like wrecking and shit.
I meant like there's something lurking in a ship.
No,
that,
like it's
if
just
it leaks, it's gonna
like the Emmett Fitzgerald. But that was more operator error. They loaded it too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's because of the Emmett Fitzgerald. They don't load them. There's a certain way you load ships, and now there's regulations because of the Emmett Fitzgerald. Also, great song.
I don't know that song.
Oh, it's a classic rock song. I think. I guess you could classify it as like classic rock. It's a ship that wrecked going to or from Cleveland, I think. Also, there's a Great Lakes beer named after the ship.
I've seen that beer.
I think it's funny because that ship wrecked in the 70s, and I'm pretty sure either everyone died or a large portion died. And so they died in the 70s. People are still like alive from like you know like family members.
Yeah.
What would happen if like that like.
Here, try this beer.
Yeah, like, hey, remember Uncle Joey? Fucking, here, remember him, I guess.
Here's a beer to remember by. It's a beer.
IPA and clinical depression. Yeah, I took that. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already, but I took a class on the whole like all the shipwrecks and like the Great Lakes. That was a fucking cool ass class. It was like this guy, I don't remember how or who it was associated with, but it was just this guy, essentially, his job, or I think it might have even been his hobby, was just diving for shipwrecks.
That's pretty cool.
And he like told us about like, he found like a slave ship that somehow he found records of like what type of ship it was and like when it wrecked. Mm-hmm. And he has like just like stuff, like pictures and stuff like that, and he was showing us. Really interesting, as well as there's also weird laws. You can't pull certain things out from shipwrecks.
I guess I can see that being...
It's okay if it's in the ocean, but in the Great Lakes there's like certain things that like like I remember like the guy that was like teaching the classes like I have the only cannon pulled from like the Great Lakes. Do you know why? And like and everyone was like why, and he was just kind of like half-assed hinted that he like did it illegally. And I was like, oh fuck.
Oh man, we got a badass.
But it's cool. Like I always thought that shit's like there's eras and eras of ships dating back to like the beginning of the country that are just sitting at the bottom of the lake that people find and stuff. Also, the Great Lakes would be very scary to find a shipwreck because like if people aren't like if you never grew up near the Great Lakes, this shit's muddy as all hell. Like it's very muddy, and you could if you're underwater and you have like either goggles or something like that, you could see about an inch away. Think about like coming across like a skull or something, or like a dead guy. Like, oh god, fuck! Shit. Like, that's a job, too, and that's horrifying, is, like, diving for dead people and, like...
Diving for dead people. That sounds like a great band name.
Oh, Jesus. Actually, I heard the coolest name for a band in Europe, and, like, this one girl I was talking to, like, we were in the same hostel, which is, like, the hotel thing, and we're going back and forth about bands, and I was really sad because Mac DeMarco was doing his European tour, and I missed him by, like, a day.
Ooh.
And she was just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I have a band that's a lot like Mac DeMarco. We're deciding a name. I'm thinking about the Warsaw Years. And I'm like, that's an awesome-ass name.
That was pretty good.
Because I think she was Canadian as well. And she, like, grew up around the same town as him, which is pretty cool. But yeah, ships and traveling and shit.
Aw, ships, son.
Have you been on boats, like, a lot? Like, I grew up with just, like, fishing and just, like, all my dad's maritime friends, they'd take us out on, like, ships.
My dad took me out for shits. I've been to Perry's Island, like, 4 times, so I've been on a ferry.
I've been on cruises, I've been on, like, all different sizes of boats. And the worst thing ever is going fishing with a bunch of guys and getting sick, especially if, like, they're catching shit. It's been so many times where I've gone out with buddies or family buddies, like, you know what I mean, like, guys, you know, go fishing, like, I get sick, which I don't usually get seasick, but it happens every now and then. Like, I got really sick, and they're just catching shit. And they're like, we're not going back. And I'm like, ugh, like, you're just, like, you know, just fall asleep, just about to, like, hurl the entire time. I'm just like, we're catching, oh God, like, ugh.
What was that? I really want to try a cruise ship. That seems fun. Get a big old boat and all you can eat food and just try not to talk to anyone when you're trying to swim.
Oh, I think, like, that's the one thing. I've been on, I think, 6 cruises because I was Grandma's favorite child, favorite grandkid, and we went on, like, cruise after cruise after cruise, like, around, like, elementary school to, like, middle school years. I think, like, and first year of middle school, I think, is when it stopped. I got dropped from that shit.
You were the second favorite then.
But I just so many cruises, and I just never really, like, made friends, like, with, like, random ass people. And I really wish, like, let's say if I were to go again on, like, a random ass cruise ship, I'd totally, like, socialize with, like, random ass people, and, like, I don't know. I think that'd be cool, meeting people from, like, way far away and just kind of.
That's another cool thing to do, meeting different people, talking to them, get their backstory. But then again, you gotta talk to them on a cruise. You just want to relax and eat all the food and go back to bed.
What is it? Yep. Transition. Fuck. Ugh, so, you have recently started reading Brian Lee O'Malley's books.
Oh, yeah.
Which, he is a great artist. I really like his art style. You first read Seconds, then you read,
No, I'm still reading Seconds.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Have you read the Scott Pilgrim series?
No. I've seen the movie plenty of times.
Okay. In my opinion, the books are a lot better than the movie, but I love the movie just for different reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I see them as, like, just 2 separate plot lines, or, like, essentially the equivalent of watching a DC movie to reading this DC comics, or vice versa with Marvel. Because, like, the movie is made before the comics ended.
Yeah, I read that. I read about that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
how do you like Seconds so far?
I'm digging it. I'm really digging it.
That's his most recent book, and I like that a lot. I did not like the ending. I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
Don't spoil it for me.
I won't, but I felt it could have been better. There's just something, like, or at least anybody who I've talked to about it has said it's a great book, looks very appealing, you know, has that charm of any Brian Lee O'Malley book, but I do not like the ending. Maybe when you finish it, come back to me and we'll talk about it, I guess. But I also read Lost at Sea. I'm not sure if you have or even.
No, I've heard about it, but I have not read about it.
It's different. It's just different. It's not as, like, lighthearted. It's more dark.
Okay.
And just kind of out there. I don't really know how to put it. When I read it, it just felt very different compared to, like, the other Brian Lee O'Malley books I've read. But the Scott Pilgrim series, I highly suggest to anybody who hasn't even heard of them. There's lots of people I've met that just have never read them for some reason.
I only know it because of the film that I loved so much when it first came out. That was such a good movie. Ooh, and that was a fart.
Don't tell them. I thought we'd edit it in post. God damn it. We can't. It's like a first date but on the podcast. We're talking to the view. What if that was a new viewer and they didn't like the...
And they didn't know who was farting.
They don't need to know because they wouldn't even know it fucking happened. God damn it, Andrew. You're ruining this for me.
I'm ruining your farts. I'm sorry. Just don't think about it. Don't think about his farts.
Talking about that, this happened to me a lot when whenever I'd be dating somebody, you'd be like hanging out with them all night, or in some cases for an entire day, and you'd go home, or like, you know, like you'd say your goodbyes and like the door would close, and you'd be like walking home or like getting in your car. That entire time getting into my car or like biking home or whatever, I'd be like, just like the whole day just like being released, just like lift up my legs and float up the stairs.
You know what I love doing?
What?
When you're like out with like a group of people and you gotta fart, but you want to be civil, so you hold it in for like 7 hours, and you're like, "Okay, guys, see you later. I'm going home." You step in your car, and you're like, "I can do it." You're like, "Oh." You just have a.
I used to just let loose, like I eat a lot of vegetables, so that kind of adds to the whole thing. Like it's just kind of
who eats vegetables anymore?
When you eat more vegetables, you fart more. It's just kind of a fact because your stomach has to work more. There's some science behind it, I guess. But I used to just eat like just bell peppers, like apples, and like in the middle of my class, like some of my classes, and like right after that, I desperately need to fart, and I was just really stealthy about being like really quiet about it, and they would just be horrible. And there was a man who will not be mentioned. I'm not sure if I don't think he'd ever listen to this podcast, but I feel really bad.
Let's just not mention his name.
Yeah, I was in a class with him, and they blamed him almost every time for it, and I was never once even thought of, just because this kid was a little bigger than I was, you know, just because he was kind of fat. He's just, every time, they just blame him for the fart, like, out loud, like, "God damn, it smells like, did you shit yourself?"
Oh, no.
And I feel like, I can't just be like, "Oh no, guys, that's me, sorry." No, like I'm letting this happen. I'm not taking the fault for my own. God damn, like if someone was just like quietly like, "Was that you?" I'd be like, "Oh, sorry." But no, they'd like announce it like, "God, fuck, shit," and I'd be like, just quietly writing, like make a quiet journal entry, like, "Oh fuck, goddamn." And
was the guy anyone we know?
No, it was just a classmate of mine.
Classmate of yours, okay.
Yeah.
That reminds me, speaking of big kids.
This one, that went on for an entire year. Like an entire school year. It didn't happen every day, but it happened often. It happened often enough for me to remember it.
Speaking of big kids at school, I remember this one kid, at the end of high school. He was like a freshman or a junior or whatever. He was below me. Fucking scrub. But I remember one time at lunch, I look over, he ordered a fucking pizza to this school. Just a box of pizza. He was just eating by himself. He somehow got a pizza ordered to this school, and he got out and got it, and came back and ate the whole pizza box by himself. That was gross.
I feel it.
But I was grosser. I ate Chipotle in under a minute.
Dude, being a bike messenger, like, the more you spend time off the clock, the less money you're making. I like, burritos gone in, like, minutes. Like, I finish, and I'm like, I'm out of breath. Like, why I fucking do that?
For some reason,
oh my God, fuck.
Eating food fast is just,
oh, Jesus, fuck, why did you do that?
I get more enjoyment out of it.
It fucking hurts. Just like, I'll be like, I'll like, the instant, like, wave of regret when I stuff the last beat, like, I go, oh, fuck, oh, God, fuck, like, why did I do that?
Eating fast, I just can't stop eating fast. Parents are like, "Andrew, you should eat some." I'm like, "Fuck that, I'm hungry." Because I remember one time, we got Chipotle, went in my room, ate it, came back out. My family hasn't even finished theirs. I'm like, "Hey, I'm done. I'm so hungry." They're like, "What? What? You had your food order?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm hungry." And they're like, "Something's wrong with you, kid." So I got more food.
What was it? I remember our buddy Connor. He every day after lunch, he'd watch me buy like 5 donuts and eat them like before. Like we'd walk to like the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
That was like at the end of the block from the school, and they like sold donuts there. Buy like 5, and walking back, they'd be gone by the time we got back to the high school. And one day he was just like, "Hey Curt, you should buy a dozen." No, he's like, "You should buy 10 this time," and I like. I don't know. I think it was like 7 or 8 because from there it went. You should get another. Hey Curt, you should get one more. And I just kept piling them on. And by the I had essentially a dozen. I think maybe even more like around a dozen donuts for a fucking like lunch. And most of them were gone before I even entered the high school. I am way too fast when it comes to eating.
That I did something similar to that with Chipotle. I live like, not even 5 minutes away from a Chipotle. There's one time I went with my sister, get in line, get a burrito, and then we start driving back. I'm like, I'm super hungry, so just start scarfing down this burrito, and it's gone before I'm already home, and it was sad because I couldn't enjoy it in front of a TV or a computer. Instead, I ate it while driving.
I feel it. I can't eat while driving.
I can. It's fun.
Well, do you drive automatic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive manual.
Oh.
Well,
just watch out. We got a Mr. Manual over here. Just stick your food on the shift and just...
I've seen so many videos where guys take like a dildo and they'll replace a shifter with it, and it'll be like one of those like 12-inch ones, so it's like flopping when they're like fucking shifting. Getting
pulled over with that there and be like, hey, whoa, excuse me,
problem,
sir.
Officer.
You got a problem with my stick shift? Wink. What you looking at, buddy? You looking at my stick shift? What are you, gay?
What are you, fucking gay?
I believe that's all the time we have right now. This has been episode 4. I'm Andrew, and in front of me is... Someone's in front of me. He's kind of shy. He hasn't talked throughout this entire episode. I've been doing I've been doing the other voice. Hopefully he can talk now.
Yeah.
It's Curt, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Have a good one. Call me back, I guess. Hope you got the message.